Hi everyone, Brian Crawl here in Skopje Macedonia to bring you a very important video on how to empower yourself to overcome oppression and get the life that you want. I'm here in front of the statue of Prometheus, the ancient Greek and Macedonian god who gave fire to mankind, and the Roman goddess of victory, Victoria. And so I thought that this was the perfect spot to film this video. You see, oppression is something that I address a lot in my videos and my work because it is one of the biggest problems in society, is that most people are oppressed by their governments and their socio-political paradigms and their social conditioning and cultural programming and all the messaging in the media and their peers and even their closest family and friends, and literally everywhere there is oppression that is holding people down, and most people do not know how to overcome it. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that in 7 steps today here in this video. And the first step is to not take on the oppression yourself in your own mind and develop what is called a victim mentality. This is the biggest thing that I see most people doing when they are living in oppressive circumstances, is that they take on the oppressive messaging themselves and start believing in it and reciting it to themselves. And then they develop this victim mentality that says, oh, I'm just an oppressed person, so I can't do what I want because I'm oppressed. I'm just a victim. I'll never be able to do what I want because I'm a victim. And of course, you're never going to be able to do what you want if you believe in your oppression and believe that you're a victim and you submit to it like that. So the first thing you need to do is not believe in your oppression and take on the oppressed mindset and this victim mentality. And if you want to learn more about that, I did an entire video just on this topic that you could see, which I released right before this, or you can click the link below. The next step, number 2, is to not despair or develop a defeatist attitude. This is the next thing that I see a lot of people doing when they first start to try to do what they want and fight against their oppression, is that it's not easy. And when the oppression continues and they don't overcome it immediately, they start to despair and develop this defeatist attitude. Like, oh, it's too hard or it's impossible. I'll never be able to fight against all this oppression. Well, of course not. Not with that attitude. I mean, a lot of these people barely even try. And it's not like the oppression is going to just go away just because you've started to resist it. It's only going to get harder when you are resisting it, but you're still going to be able to achieve what you want as long as you are doing these things. So when you start trying to fight your oppression and you realize how hard it is, do not despair or develop a defeatist attitude, because that is the main thing that is going to stop you. Okay, you have to stay optimistic and confident and press on. And next, number 3, is to not allow any negative influences in your social life. We're going to be reciting the messages of the oppression that you are trying to break free from. And this also can mean not watching TV shows and movies and listening to music that contains them as well. Okay? Any negative oppressive influences must be cut off. And you must sever all ties with them if you're going to overcome your oppression. I imagine that your social environment is full of people and things that subscribe to the oppressive messaging that you have been subjected to, that you're trying to break free from. And if you have any people in your social network or your peer groups or friends or even family members, or again, even forms of entertainment that you really love that contain these oppressive messages, you need to stop listening to them and cut all ties with them. Because if you have people in your life that are continuing to influence you in these ways, it's going to be so much more difficult than it needs to be for you to overcome your oppression. And you need to sever ties with those negative influences and stop letting them influence you, and then replace them with positive influences who are also doing the same type of work and who can provide the support and the empowerment that you need. And this right here is a very difficult one for most people because they don't want to lose their friends and their peer groups, let alone their family members. And a lot of people don't even want to stop listening to music and watching movies and TV shows that contain these types of messages. Why? Because they're scared of being alone in this work. But it's better to be alone in this work than it is to be bombarded with these types of oppressive messages from the people who you care about and are supposed to care about you and be supportive of you. And when the people who are supposed to be supportive of you are having negative influences on you, it makes it near impossible to actually succeed in this work. And believe me, I spend a lot of time in solitude and isolation and completely alone because most people in the world subscribe to their oppressive social conditioning and are just reciting those messages back to me when I try to socialize with them, and I won't don't fucking have it, right? So I'm constantly socially networking, looking for people to be friends with who will be positive influences on me and not really finding any, right? And it oftentimes feels like it's me against the world, but yeah, it's better to feel like it's me against the world while I'm able to empower myself and inoculate against negative influences and not allow them to have any sort of influence on me than it would be to empower myself if I had a lot of bad friends and peer members who were having this negative influence on me. And I do at least always have some friends and colleagues in the industry who I can reach out to and talk to about this stuff when I need to. And you'll find that if you're doing enough social networking, you will be able to find positive influences as well. Just maybe not as many as you would like, right? But that's okay. You're gonna find that it feels much better to be alone and empowered than surrounded by people who are disempowering you. And I find that I really don't feel the need to reach out to my colleagues in the industry for support very often at all, because I do such a good job of empowering myself when I'm not being subjected to those negative influences.
Are you sure to take your daily dose of red pills consistently so that you can stay out of the matrix? The red pill is a medicine that only works if you take it in the right dosage and never miss a dose. One missed dose of red pills can mean turning back into a blue-pilled limp dick simp under the sharp heel of the evil feminist matriarchy. So make sure you are subscribed and that your subscription is set to all so that you never have to miss one of your daily doses of the red pill, because I'm releasing hot new red pill content every single fucking day just to make sure you don't have to. So make sure you will actually get notified when they are released, because you know that YouTube doesn't want to show you things that don't align with its liberal leftist feminazi agenda, and it shadow bans content creators like me who use free speech to speak out against these politics and stand up for the rights of the oppressed masses of men like you and me. And if you want to help me keep fighting the good fight, please donate using the PayPal link below so that I can keep this work alive, because I simply cannot do it without the support of viewers like you. And be sure to spread these messages and share these videos with any other men you know who could use a nice big dose of red pills.
Next, number 4 is to shut down the negative voices in your head that were put there by the oppressive messaging and people who have socially conditioned you over the course of your life and left these voices in your head telling you things like, oh no, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, right? Just conform, just do what everyone else is doing, right? No, don't think outside of the box. Don't act out. Don't do things differently. Don't be courageous. That's too audacious. Be quiet. Stifle yourself. Sit down and shut up, right? You have all of these voices in your head that were left there by the oppressive social conditioning and the oppressors who were giving you this social conditioning over the course of your life. And when you start to try to think outside of the box and act outside of the box, those voices are going to come up in your head and tell you not to. And you've got to shut them the fuck up if you're going to be able to act accordingly and confidently enough to follow through with all this and do it successfully. So anytime you hear these voices come up, be aware that they are not your voice. They're not the voice of your true self. They are the voices of past negative influences in your social conditioning who were oppressive people that you do not need to listen to the voices of, even though they're coming from inside of your own head. So tell them to shut the fuck up whenever you hear them. And that brings me to step number 5, which is to replace those voices with shamelessly self-promoting voices, telling you that you can and should go for and do whatever the fuck you want in any situation, no matter what it is. The only way you're going to overcome your oppression and empower yourself is by having a shamelessly self-promoting thought process, because oppression is the opposite of that. This is what the opposite of oppression is shameless self-promotion. So if you've got voices in your head from your oppressive social conditioning telling you that you're disempowered, you should have a victim mentality, you need to tell them to shut up and say, no, I am super empowered. I'm a fucking superhero. I'm like Superman. I could do whatever the fuck I want. If you have voices in your head saying, no, don't go against the norm, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, it's not appropriate, you need to say, no, I do whatever the fuck I want because I'm an evil criminal mastermind and no one can fucking stop me. Transform your oppressed inner dialogue into one that is shamelessly self-promoting and gives you the permission and the extreme confidence and audacity and promotion towards doing what you want and going for it no matter what. And then next, number 6 is to use that to become insanely proactive. And what I mean by that is to harness the sheer power of your will to go against any and all external and internal adversity and do whatever it is you have to do at all costs. Okay, make it your policy and your rule of life to always do what you need to fight and overcome your oppression and succeed no matter what you are facing. And never, don't go for it, and never back down when you are facing an obstacle or challenge or some sort of oppressive adversity. Always fight it and go for what you want in life. That is the number one rule that you should live by. And then last, number 7 is to be fully and completely devoted and dedicated and disciplined about this practice, and unwavering when the going gets tough, and never give up no matter how you feel. If you start to get depressed at times, which you will, that's okay, all right? Allow yourself to feel, but don't allow it to cause you to give up. Be depressed for a little while, listen to some more of my inspirational and motivational videos, do some more work on transmuting your inner states, and rally yourself back up, and then continue to do what you need to do to get to where you want to be in life, okay? It will get hard at times, very hard at times, but don't ever let any adversity keep you down. And in fact, anytime you're dealing with any adversity or challenges, use them to charge you up and motivate you and drive you more towards your goals. Every time I encounter adversity and it makes me feel angry or sad, I just use that state as a charging and driving force to get me all worked up and drive me forward even more towards my goals. And you can do the same.
That concludes this video. Thanks for listening. I hope I mansplained that good enough for you. If you like what you heard, please click the like button. And if you feel you gained some value from this video and would like to give some back, please do so with the PayPal link below, because your support helps fund me doing this work and fight the good fight for men like you. If you are ready to take the red pill and wake up from the matrix and the matriarchy controlling it and learn everything you need to know about female on male sexism, get your copy of my newly released book called Misandry Exposed, on sale now for a special price that won't last long. So check it out by clicking the link below. And otherwise, take care of yourselves, men, because no woman out there is going to.